Mariners Spring Training on Root Sports is presented by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing.
Hard to believe we're going to leave the desert soon. Countdown is suddenly into single digits, just like Bill Kruger's handicap. Just 7 games, 9 days remaining until opening day of the 2016 season. We're back today with an interleague showdown between the Mariners and the defending NL West champion, LA Dodgers. You can see it there on the big screen. Welcome to Mariners Spring Training presented by Delta Airlines. Alongside senior baseball analyst Mr. Bill Kruger, I am Brad Adam. Good to see you, my friend, in this afternoon, our first Saturday matinee broadcast of the spring. And did I get the handicap accurate?
Well, I'm concerned because, you know, it's a matinee game taking my golf time away from me, Brad.
Yeah, exactly. You had to get up early this morning.
Yeah.
Just the range, not 18.
Short game.
But it's going to be, hopefully, work on the short game. I think I'm talking about the short game we're about to see, we hope, because Wade Miley on the bump for the Mariners today. We all know how fast he works. We take a look at our CenturyLink. What's next? We're focusing on pitcher pace. And among players still active in baseball, remember Mark Burley, the fastest, but not active right now. So Wade Miley, the fastest at 17.5 seconds per pitch last year. Another Mariner cracked the top 5. Taijuan Walker, I like that, 18.4 seconds himself, which is good. Good for us. And Bill, other night we watched the Mariners and A's played what turned into a nearly 4-hour affair. Now, you worked it. I got to admit, I did not last the entire game, my friend. How does a pitcher working fast like a Wade Miley benefit the players around him and, more importantly, the broadcasters covering the game?
Well, I think the everyday guys love you if you work quick, and they're going to play a lot better defense for you, that's for sure. They're on their toes. There's a certain readiness when the pitch is made. I think it also disrupts hitters. Hitters don't like to have their routine busted, having you get in there and go. I think it helps with umpires. Umpires like guys that work fast. They're more apt to call more strikes. And I think internally, once you've adopted to it, you're going to throw better because you're going to create a better rhythm for yourself. So I think it's something that everybody should be trying to do. Pluses,
positives all around. And we could see some quick games from the Mariners this season, no doubt about that. Although we should note that setup man Joaquin Benoit ranked 4th slowest among relievers in all of baseball a season ago. But hey, back to the fast guy, Wade Miley now. The Mariners obviously made a large investment in the lefty this winter when they traded Roenis Elias and Carson Smith to Boston for him and Jonathan Arroyo. Dave Sims had the chance to ask the skipper, Scott Service, about Miley's spring so far.
Wade Miley making his 4th start. How has he impressed you so far in spring?
Well, Wade certainly has a plan when he goes out there. He's been very aggressive. He really attacks the hitters, works very up-tempo, which is great for our infielders, and we love to see that. He doesn't waste any time out there. He does get right after him. So big start for him today. I want to extend him out, hopefully get to 80 pitches or so and see how it goes.
Were you familiar with him coming in? I mean, I was just curious what your mindset is, having maybe read about him and now you've seen him in action.
Well, he's got track record of throwing 200 innings, and those guys are hard to find in our game. So he's been durable. He does pitch innings. Jerry DePoto had more track record with him and actually have drafted him and helped develop him when he was with the Diamondbacks. So I kind of had a pretty good idea what we were getting, and he's been great. He's been a welcome addition to our pitching staff.
All right, thank you, guys. Now, the only way to slow down Wade Miley's pace is to put him in slow motion. He gets to start when Mariners Spring Training, presented by Delta Airlines, continues on Root Sports.
Watching your favorite team
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. And by Frontier Communications, providers of next-generation Fios TV and Internet. All right, let's take a look at our Lexus pitching matchup. We told you about Wade Miley. Another lefty on the mound today. Scott Kazmir, late of the A's, late of the Astros. Now his first year with the Dodgers. Not great numbers in spring. You see Wade Miley's numbers. Both pitchers making their fourth start. Those are the guys on the mound. How about the batters in the box trying to score and hit these guys? Let's start with the Mariners. Ketel Marte, he's back. Leading off, playing shortstop. Seager, you got Steph Romero. Look at that big smile. He's happy to be playing. First base today, you got Cruz Smith. Daho Lee, your DH. Steve Clevenger, a catcher, battling the flu. He's back. Chris Taylor at second. Leonis Martin, your center fielder. You're 9 for the Mariners. Now we saw Franklin Gutierrez return to the lineup yesterday after missing several games because of the flu. Flu bug going around the clubhouse. Marte is back, which is great. All right, obviously not an ideal situation to be dealing with as the season rapidly approaches. But, Bill, how can missing time like this set you back in your preparation? Because we talked about it. We're about, 9 days away, opening day.
Well, I think they've gotten through a lot of what they need to do as far as getting their legs ready and their hands ready, running the bases, getting some rhythm at the plate, but certainly it's not good to miss time. And this particular flu strain isn't just one that kicked to the curb after a day or two, so it can take a little bit of your energy and your strength away. But these guys are exceptional athletes. They're going to bounce back quickly. We saw Gutierrez in the lineup yesterday. He seems to be fine. Ketel Marte, we're going to get him back today. Obviously, the incumbent at shortstop, a very important position on this ball club. So I bet on these guys to be fine. I think they have enough time to get their strength back and be ready to go.
If there's one benefit, I guess, of missed time for these guys, it means that other guys battling for roster spots, some of the young kids, get a few extra shots, a few extra ABs to impress. So which of those players have kind of stood out for you this camp?
Well, it's been really interesting to see the two guys that are battling for the utility role go at it. Sean O'Malley and Luis Sardinas. Boy, these guys have been terrific. O'Malley, we saw him in September last year. Really impressed. Can play all over the place. And he has hit this spring. 471. 5 extra base hits, leads the team in stolen bases. Sardinas, wow. You wonder if he's supposed to be hitting in the middle of the order. 2 homers, 14 RBIs, hitting about 350. Played some nice shortstop. He can switch hit, he can run. They've used him a little bit in the outfield. So an exceptional find by Jerry Dipoto. And certainly with Ketel Marte being out, he's got some extra swings, which has really helped him. Stephan Romero, a player that's really hit in the system. Every level he's hit well, but really hasn't hit the big leagues. But a guy I think that's versatile, can play all the outfield spots, is going to play first base today, which is really important. And I think it's his time to start showing that he can hit in the big leagues too.
Not just in spring training. And
right.
What's nice, and you mentioned that all 3 of these guys vying for that spot, first base and backup, all play the outfield as well. So extremely versatile and can run.
And that's going to be important with the way that the Mariners want to play this year. They like speed, they like guys that can get first to third, and then try to score from first on a double.
Versatility, speed, defense. Sounds good. All right, so we are getting set, of course. Mariners, Dodgers, spring training from Peoria. Let's get out to the Peoria Sports Complex right now. Action booming, people coming in. Hey, Mariners fans, there they are. Let's get to Dave Sims and Mike Blowers. Gentlemen.
All right, Brad, thank you so much. A beautiful day here in Arizona as we have a big crowd on hand. The Mariners taking on a split squad of LA Dodgers. The other Dodger portion of the ball club will be playing back at Camelback tonight against the White Sox. But here this afternoon, we get a chance to see Wade Miley. Don't blink when he's on the mound because he is always ready to go.
17.5 seconds in between pitches for Wade Miley. He likes to work fast. Typically, he's going to throw a lot of strikes. Fastball right around 90 miles an hour. Had an excellent changeup in his last outing, so we'll see what he wants to work on today. He'll be anywhere from 5 to 7 innings, depending on his pitch count.
Chase Utley going to lead it off for the Dodgers. Good crowd this Saturday afternoon. A berm packed, almost totally packed. And all the good seats are taken here at the Peoria Sports Complex. Utley, a .289 hitter so far this spring. No homers and 3 runs batted in. First pitch from Miley, slapped to left field, and it's going to drop in front of Seth Smith for a base hit. 84 degrees. Bright blue sky here in Peoria. And 1:11 start time. There's Trace Thompson. Came over from the White Sox. 208 hitter this spring. Talking to Mel Stoudemire Jr., pitching coach for the Mariners, he said that he would allow Miley to go 7 if he's efficient. His approach is awesome. He uses all 4 pitches. I like the fact that he's not afraid to pitch in. He can get a little bit too quick, and when he does, they like him to maybe work away with the sinker and the change, but he's got to have good counts, obviously, to be very effective, but they really like where he is. Last year with Boston, a record of 11-11. 4.46 ERA and went 193.2 innings. 1-1 to Thompson.
And that was the good changeup again. 80 miles an hour on the changeup.
Stirring win yesterday by the Mariners. Bottom of the 10th, a walk-off home run by Leonys Martin. A lot of late drama as Nelly Cruz tied it up with a 2-run homer in the 9th and 1 out, nobody on. Martin won it in the 10th as the Mariners beat the White Sox. Here's the 2-1. It's in there for strike 2 and 2.
And nothing cheap about either one of the home runs that were hit.
For sure. Good pitch. Down and away from Thompson. He's a strikeout victim. 1 down. Here's a look at the rest of the batting order for the Dodgers.
Van Slyke is going to hit third. He is in right field. In the middle of the lineup, you have Ellis, Segedin, and Hicks. Culberson, the shortstop, will bat 7th. Scavuzzo, the left fielder, hitting 8th. And the pitcher, Scott Kazmir, will round out the 9 for the Dodgers this afternoon.
Here's Scott Van Slyke. Looks at the pitch in the dirt.
I always find it interesting. The Dodgers had the option to use the DH today if they wanted to, but they're going to let Kazmir swing away. See if he can put down a couple of bunts, get some practice in.
We've not seen too many good bunts here in the spring. Van Slyke, 371 this spring, 3 homers, 6 runs batted in. Home plate umpire today, Carlos Torres, and he is working with Scott Buckminster, Ryan Goodman, and Chris Guccione.
There you go.
Into left field. Another one hopper to Seth Smith. So a couple of men aboard, 1 out here in the first.
A base hit on the changeup. I think Van Slyke hit it off towards the end of the bat. It was a soft line drive into left field.
I'll bring up the catcher, A.J. Ellis. No Yasiel Puig today. Tight left hamstring, so no doubt he'll be held out of tonight's game as well. It's not like they were saving him. They can't afford to have him hurt. Andre Ethier been sidelined as well. Ellis, the catcher, 63 games last year, hit .238. Dodgers have won the last 3 National League West titles, 5 of the last 8, but they haven't been to the World Series since 1988. This one driven deep to right center field. Cruz taking a look at it, and it bounces off the fence. Scoring is Utley. Van Slyke right behind him. Throw to the plate, not in time. 2-run double A.J. Ellis, and you can hear the Dodger fans here in Peoria. 2-0 L.A. Ellis with his 3rd double, RBI 6 and 7.
It's on the fastball in the middle of the plate. A little bit of a breeze here today. It's going to be warm, probably somewhere around 85 degrees today, so the ball will carry.
And Slyke chugged all the way around from first. Flags pointing towards left field today. There's a breaking ball to Rob Segedin, playing at first base today. We had gale force winds blowing out to right field on Wednesday. They're blowing out to left today. Here's a look at the flags of the Cactus League teams. 1-1. Foul off. Dodgers managed by Dave Roberts. Like Scott Service, managing for the first time at any level. Dave had a nice playing career, highlighted by his stolen base back in 2004. The Red Sox on the brink of elimination. It was Game 4 against the Yankees in the ALCS. Started a rally and they came from behind and won that series. Here's a 1-2. Off of Clevenger's glove. 1-2.
Going to get the home plate umpire a chance to catch his breath. It looked like it hit him in the mask.
Torres, it was shaken off, ready to go. Runner at second, 1 out, 2 runs in. Rob Seguin played in Monday's game. The Mariners won 6-3 over Camelback. Seguin got in late in the game and went 0 for 1. Here's the 1-2. Count evens. Seguin. There's Dave Roberts, good outfielder in his day. And the glasses to your right. Bob Guerin's his bench coach. Bob was with the Mets the last couple of years. Former A's manager. Here's a 2-2. Mentioned the Dodgers won the last 3 NL West titles. They'll be challenged this year by the Giants and Arizona. Going to wonder about their pitching after Clayton Kershaw starting pitching. 2-2. Breaking ball.
Trouble.
No man's land, and it drops in. Holding it second is Ellis. So first and second now for the Dodgers. As Seguin drops one in the triangle out there.
And you can see Marte trying to shade his eyes. Typically, with the way the ball carries there, all the outfielders are going to be playing deep. So 2 base hits off the end of the bat, and that one a jam shot.
Wade in some trouble here. Brandon Hicks is the batter.
He needs to get a double play ball. 21 pitches in the inning for him.
Hicks hitting at an even 200. No homers, 3 runs batted in. Here's the 0-1. So he's ahead. No balls, 2 strikes. Miley's a guy that's going to give you innings. 193 and change last year. 2 prior years, he got over the 200 mark. Nice stop by Clevenger. Ellis at second, Seguin in at first. Clevenger getting the start here.
I thought it was interesting this morning listening to Scott Service talk about Clevenger, and he said that defensively he was a lot further along than he expected him to be. He's played well behind the plate.
1-2 pitch, strike 3 called. Hicks gone, 2 down.
And I think Wade will be happy about this strike. He's been trying to hit the inside corner to all these hitters and hasn't been able to get the call, and he finally gets that call on the inside corner.
Seventh man to the plate is going to be Charlie Culberson, the shortstop. A lot of unfamiliar names. Yasmani Grandal, Adrian Gonzalez not here, Howie Kendrick, Justin Turner, Carl Crawford, Jock Peterson, and Puig. They can comprise the starting lineup for most of last year. Oh, went right after him. Culberson at 237 this spring. Dismisses him with 3 pitches, 3 strikeouts in the inning, but damage done by the Dodgers. 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors, leave a couple. 2-0 LA with the Mariners coming to bat. And this glorious Saturday Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. Inning, down a couple of runs. Here's Nelson Cruz. The boomstick going deep for his 3rd home run of the spring. It ties the score. Then how about Leonys Martin, Mike?
Gets a fastball in the inner half. And you can see where this one lands. Well back over the fence.
Martin asking, when was your last walk-off? He said it had to have been back in 2013. And a lot of happy guys there. Mariners playing a lot of long extended games. Yesterday's game was 306, 312 the day before, 345 the day before that. A lot of happy guys with that Martin home run.
Yeah, you bet. And it's especially at this point in spring training. You guys have a week to go, and I think most of them anxious to get out of town. So the long games will wear on you.
Strike one to Ketel Marte. He's got service. Even said, yeah, I was over there. He's fighting a cold, and he's got it. It's probably bloomed till its fullest today when we saw him this morning. And there's a line drive down the line. Marte out of the box hard. Going to dig it out of Scavuzzo. And Marte with a leadoff double for the Mariners.
So a good start for the Mariners with that double. Following Marte, it'll be Kyle Seager. Seager at third base hitting second. Stephen Romero, what a spring he is having. He will hit third. In the middle of the lineup, you have Cruz, Smith, and Lee lead the DH batting 6th. Clevenger, Taylor, and Martin round out the 9 for the Mariners.
Marte with his 5th double to get things going. And a little bit later, we're going to hear from Kyle Seager. We'll hear from him. We'll hear from Kyle Seager. Mike did an interview with him, an extended interview. Look forward to that. Cruz got picked off second base in the game earlier this week. Seager with 2 home runs, 10 runs batted in. Has been taking a long time. Hard hit, blown right by Seguin. Into the corner, Marte scores easily. Seager with the play in front of him. He's going to dig for third as the ball got away. Running for third, he is going to get there. Kyle saw the ball get away from Van Slyke out in right field. And that's when he turned it on and made his way to third. 2-1 ball game.
Well, he's going to turn on this pitch. Looks like a fastball right in the middle of the plate. It's it right down the line. Kyle having a good spring, came into the game hitting .279 on the spring.
So an RBI for Kyle, his 11th. His third extra base hit, first triple. Stephen Romero, been outstanding swinging the bat. Making a good run at maybe locking up that right-handed portion of the first base platoon. Got a homer and 7 runs batted in. Hitting at .389.
Talking to him about playing first base, we of course have seen him in the outfield the last few years, but I asked him how comfortable he was, and he said at first, even though he'd played some infield in college and a little bit in the minor leagues, he said at first it was a little bit difficult, but now he's comfortable, and he's actually played pretty well over there defensively.
So Romero way ahead in the count, 3-0. A double and a triple to start off the Mariners' first. Kazmir gets back in the count, 3-1. Nelson Cruz is on deck. Up the middle, nice play by Utley. Run's going to score. High throw. He is on the bag, says the umpire at first, Chris Guccione. Marin fans don't like it. Run scores, ties it at 2-2.
Romero will pick up the RBI, but you can see the high throw from Utley. Oh, it was close. Another good at bat for Romero, though. Hit the ball hard.
2-2 ball game. Brings up Nelson Cruz. Started off the spring 0 for 15. And you're not surprised that he's starting to pick things up.
A couple of home runs here this last week, including the one that he hit in the 9th inning yesterday.
Caught in between there. And now he's 6 for his last 21. There's 1-1 pitch. .44 home runs with a .302 batting average last year. It was just what the doctor ordered for the Mariners offense. Up high. 44 homers, 93 runs batted in. .566 slugging percentage. As you look at Kazmir, he's now with his 7th team. Rays, Angels, A's, Indians, Astros, and now the Dodgers.
He still has a good fastball. It's not the fastball that he first showed up in the big leagues with. He used to be around 95 miles an hour. You'll see him in the low 90s now, 90 to 92.
He's got out of Houston, now 32 years old. Full count to Cruz. Kazmir was a first-round pick of the Mets back in '02. There's a 3-2 pitch. Struck him out a little late. And there's 2 away. It's that high fastball that hitters still think you can get, right?
You think you can get to it. Yep. You'll see him chase it more times than not when it's in a hitter's count, too. Right there, 3-2. He was pretty sure he was going to get the fastball. There it was, but it was elevated above the belt.
Brings up Seth Smith. He's got some gaudy spring numbers, hitting at .548. Wow, line drive, right field. He continues. Seth Smith now 18 for 32.
First pitch fastball. See if it's in the middle of the plate. Middle in. Does a nice job turning on it. Hits it hard into right field.
Smitty keeps the inning alive here in the first. Brings up Dae-Ho Lee. You may have heard in the background Harry Belafonte's Deo. That was too easy for walk-up, wasn't it? Sort of in order, right? They had to do it. It would be a penalty if you didn't play it, right?
Right. Lee was in the batting cages early this morning.
Now, you did this going over to Japan, and you got to learn a whole league of new pitchers, guys you have never seen before at any level.
Yep, it's tough.
And that's what he's going through.
Yeah, that's what he's, yep. It was about 7:45 this morning. I was standing outside the clubhouse, and he was walking out there to get some extra swings in.
Gets through Ellis.
That'll be a wild pitch.
Walking down to second is Seth Smith. A wild pitch. Charge to Kazmir. It's his first of the spring. How tough, I mean, again, the phrase, the game's tough enough. Let's get that on the table. So now you got a whole league, new league of guys you got to learn.
Yeah, it's difficult because you don't know what to expect and you haven't seen it. So the first time through, I always felt that the pitcher has the advantage. And I think more than anything, once you're in the big leagues for a while, Dave, you get a comfort level of what you're up against. And typically when you're driving to the ballpark that day, you know who's on the mound, and you have a pretty good idea before you even look at any film or scouting reports on what you're going to see. And for him, he's starting all over. So he'll probably have to watch a lot of video.
New language, new culture, new country. Chops it off the plate. Shortstop Culberson is there. Throws him out, and that'll do it for the Mariners. But they strike right back. 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors, leave a man. A 2-2 ball game as we head to the second inning.
Sports is brought to you by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Husqvarna, ready when you are. Welcome back inside our studio. It's Brad Adam, Bill Kruger with you. 2-2, lots of offense already, Bill. And we've seen Wade Miley touched up for a couple of runs already. He's given up several runs in his starts as his 4th turn so far this spring, but you think nothing to worry about right now with him?
Yeah, he's got a proven track record of a guy that's going to throw a ton of strikes. He's going to, eat up a lot of innings, and I think you know, not a guy that's going to overwhelm the competition, strike out 10 a ball game. He's going to get help from his defense, and most certainly he'll be helped by pitching in a much better ballpark in Seattle.
We mentioned Arizona, Boston, where he pitched before, not great. And so we go back, and Mike, you've seen him this spring, all of his starts. Is he a type of pitcher that's really going to benefit from pitching at Safeco Field?
Oh, I think so, just because of what Bill talked about, and that is he's going to have the hitters put the ball in play. And I think with the speed that they've added to their outfield, I think he's going to enjoy pitching at Safeco without question.
And I think when you get traded like he was traded over here, really coveted, when you deal away a guy like Carson Smith, Mike, I mean, that's got to be a boost of confidence for Miley. I would think that the organization really wanted him here.
No, you're absolutely right. High throw from Seager. I would beat that out anyway. Probably give him an infield hit. But I think that you're absolutely right, Bill. And he seems, just watching him around camp, getting his work in, that he's enjoying his time here. So I think he's comfortable with the situation. And I think, again, he's going to love pitching in that ballpark. But more importantly, I think when you look at his defense that's around him, Bill, and you can talk to this, I think it gives you more confidence to even be more aggressive in the strike zone. And hopefully, instead of the 190, he get over 200 innings because he's having quicker innings.
And that's the way, you know, good teams play. I know in playing on the teams that won, I didn't play on a lot of teams that won, but the ones that did all played good defense. And the whole adage was to go out there, and I remember playing in Minnesota for Tom Kelly. Get the athletes off the field as quickly as possible so they can start scoring some runs. Your job is to throw strikes.
Sacrifice bunt there doesn't work as we go back to Dave out there. 1 out now, top of the second, guys.
All right, guys, thank you very much. They gave Seager an E5 on that first batter, but then Kyle comes back, gets a 5-6 force on the fielder's choice. Casimir safe at first. Top of the order now, and Chase Utley opened up the ballgame. First pitch swinging in line to left field.
Yeah, I think that's a tough error for Kyle.
Very tough error. It was off the plate, and he had to go up and get it.
Well, yeah, and he had to go backwards too, and then with the speed of the runner, he had to get rid of it quickly. And again, I think it would have been a really close play if it had been an accurate throw. So I think that's a tough error.
Down low to Utley. Long-time Philly. Several pennants, won a World Series there in '09, beating the Rays. Part of a really good run, and Philly's now rebuilding. How about their GM, Ruben Amaro? Now the first base coach for the Red Sox is Utley dumps one into short right field. That's a transition, isn't it?
Yeah.
Utley 2 for 2.
Another broken bat base hit.
Trace Thompson finally struck him out on a 2-2 pitch. Will be the hitter with a couple of men aboard. 1 out. Thompson, a baseball playing member of the Thompson family. His dad, Michael, multiple championships. The Lakers, Clay with the Warriors. Having an incredible run they're on right now. Down to third. They'll go around the horn here, and they get the double play. Seager to Taylor to Romero. Nice combo, and you get Wade Miley out of second inning trouble. Keep this a 2-2 ball game. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. Friday, April 8th. The Mariners host the A's at 7:10, so make sure to arrive early. Enjoy the pregame show that will include the red carpet introductions, which are always a blast, and first pitch by Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr. It's Mariners opening night, presented by your local Ford dealer. As you look at the Colorado River upstream at Marble Canyon, northern part of Arizona. Wonderful scenics here in this state as we welcome you back. Mariner baseball, second inning for Scott Kazmir. He's got the bottom third of the Mariner order. Steve Clevenger, the catcher. Chris Taylor, the second baseman. And Leonys Martin, the center fielder. Mariners 2 runs on 2 hits. RBI triple by Seager, RBI ground out by Romero. That after A.J. Ellis drove in 2 with a double in the top half of the first inning. Here's Steve Clevenger coming over from the Orioles, a 280 hitter. Been interesting watching Clevenger, and then you watch Rob Brantley come into the game, and both of these guys pretty aggressive swinging the bat, trying to get that backup spot to Chris Iannetta. Ground ball to Utley, and there's one away.
Iannetta getting the afternoon off. He caught all 9 innings yesterday.
And he and Kyle Seager, they gave it to me pretty good. Yeah, Carolina won last night, boys. I salute you. They'll play tomorrow. Notre Dame, regional championship, chance to go to the Final Four. And a real tough one for Gonzaga fans last night. Syracuse Orange prevailing. It's Chris Taylor. He's a UVA guy, University of Virginia. They're in it. They'll be playing this afternoon. A nice wrinkle there by Kazmir, 0-2.
Nice. Oh.
Didn't miss by much. Kazmir with Houston was traded over about midway through the season. 13 starts, went 2-6 with a 4.17 ERA. Had some double-digit winning seasons in Tampa Bay, dating back to 2005. Outside, he won consecutive years of 10, 10, 13, 12, and 10 wins. And he doesn't win double-figure games again until 13 with Cleveland. Made the All-Star team in 14 with the A's. Swing and a miss. Controlling pace nicely in that at-bat. It's his second strikeout.
He's able to get it on the changeup. Right now, it looks as if he's struggling a little bit with his fastball command. Has a better breaking ball and changeup.
Well, here's the man who sent us home yesterday, Leonys Martin. Up high. No, that's a strike. Breaking ball. Upper edge of the strike zone.
Oh.
Changing speeds nicely. 0-2.
I was happy to see him hit that home run yesterday, Dave, but new day today. I want to see him get the ball back on the ground again.
I hear you. He's got plus speed. And he can really help the Mariners generate some runs. 1-2. Martin scored 66 runs for the 13 Rangers and came back with 68 the next year, playing more than 145 games.
He can really help the bottom of their lineup. You mentioned his speed, get on base, cause some problems. You have Iannetta, who's going to get on base a lot, hopefully. Has been a high on base percentage guy.
1-2 from Casimir. Breaking ball again, hits it past Casey Candell, the first base coach. This will be pitch number 7 for Lindy's. I was telling him this morning how much I admired watching him throw. The throwing routine, we talked about it yesterday.
That was
he uses
fun.
a weighted ball for long toss in his in preparation for the season, and they had a ball in his locker. What is it? 1.5 ounces of what a baseball weighs, and that thing was about 3 times as heavy. And he does a long toss with this sucker, and that'll build up some arm strength. I thought that was pretty neat.
A lot of pitchers have gone to that now.
Yeah. Swing and a miss as Martine's gone as Casimir racks up his 3rd strikeout, 2nd in the inning. 2-2 ball game here in Peoria. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines.
Show us by sharing photos of you and your friends cheering on your team. Use the hashtag #WhereIRoot on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and you can be featured on air like our buddy Drew there from Central Washington as we start the 3rd inning. Bill Kruger joining us now. Since Chase Utley, Dodgers in the game, it's a good time, Bill, to talk about we're going to call it the Chase Utley rule, the new edict as runners go into second base. Did you think that after last season's playoffs with the injury, with Utley sliding in, did you think something was going to change to help protect the infielders?
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, it's sort of the 24-hour news cycle, right? You just see it over and over and over and over. See him Tejada getting blown up by Utley, and it was, questionable whether it was a clean slide or not, but obviously safety is a big part of baseball now, and we're going to protect the infielders. The question I have, and Mike, I think we probably need to pose you this question. So the players have to slide into the base, and you can't roll the guy, but then the infielder can't get the neighborhood play, right? He has to stay on the base, right? So are we actually saving the middle infielders by changing the rule?
Well, I'm not. I wish they would still have that neighborhood play because it's important for those guys. So I agree with that. I think the only thing is, and the other thing is, you have to stay in contact with the base. You can't go over the top of it like you were saying, that barrel roll thing. And I think whatever it takes to make the runner get down early is the best way to protect these guys in the middle of the diamond, especially second baseman, because so many times, Bill, they have their back to the runner. They have to basically have a feel of how close they are to them. And it can get pretty dangerous for those guys, but we'll see how it goes. But I think anything that you can do to make the base runner hit the dirt a little bit earlier. That was such a late slide, the one you're talking about with Utley. That's the reason why the damage was there. And anything they can do to make that happen is going to help.
No problems there as the Mariners turn that 6-4-3 double play. But, Mike, as a middle infielder, I know you were at third, but you certainly know how to play, obviously. Do those guys view this rule and feel more confident? Will they change anything? Will they have a different mentality around second base now?
I'll be curious to see how closely it's called, to be honest with you. If you're somebody, for example, Robinson Cano, that's played in the league for a long time, and he's coming across the bag, he's so good with his timing on it, but he'll go through there a little bit early, and I'm wondering how closely they're going to call it. I have a feeling that as the season moves forward, you're probably going to see guys get closer to that neighborhood play than actually having to stay on the base. That's my guess.
Yeah, I totally agree. Anything to get the runner down early, I agree with that. I think hard slides are an important part of the game. It's just late slides, they aren't. And I think the ballet, you're going to lose some of that because of the fact that you're having to keep in touch with the base. So I think it's going to sort of vary as we go along.
As we move along, bottom of third, Mariners coming to bat out there in Peoria, still knotted up at 2.
Fans can select from a menu of options for the season's biggest games, including Ken Griffey Jr. weekend, fireworks, and bobblehead nights, and more. Packs start at just $120. They're available right now only at mariners.com/flex. As you look at the Navajo bridges, and the original bridge is the one on the right. I wonder at what point they banned bungee jumping from those bridges. You don't see those as many of those.
Didn't have to ban me.
No, you and I are the same mindset. Charging is Hicks. And he gets Marte for the first out. Scott Kazmir now going to face Kyle Seager, who tripled into the right field corner first time. Top of the fourth, we're going to hear Mike's interview with Kyle Seager. Boy, you really do have to wonder. See, look at this Dodger ball club about their pitching. I mean, Kershaw, Kazmir is a journeyman now. They lost a few guys. What, Anderson's down? They got big question marks. Carlos Frias, is he going to be enough? Kershaw started 5 games. Kente Maeda, a Japanese import, saw him earlier in the week. 2-1. Now 2-2 with that breaking ball.
We'll probably see him make some trades, Dave.
They're a little thin. Not a good thing going into this season, the way Diamondbacks have armed up as they check down to third. Count runs full. Kyle Seager. And they got some big contracts too, so they may have to. Those contracts going to be ones they're going to have to eat too. No shift against Seager. Nice. Swing and miss. Strikeout number 4 for Kazmir.
Looks like a breaking ball. 3-2 count. Kyle expecting to see the good fastball from Kazmir, and it is. It's a breaking ball down.
Kazmir struck out 3 of the last 5 batters that he's faced. Brings up Romero, RBI ground out on a 3-1 pitch.
He has hit the ball hard this spring.
Yes, he has.
Came into the game hitting .389 for the spring.
He and Seth Smith. Been a couple 3 home runs by Cano that have been stung. This one popped up. Coming over is Seguin, the catcher. Oh, ran right by it, A.J. Ellis.
Yeah, you'd really like to see your first baseman call the catcher off. It was basically right in between both of them. It's an easier play for the first baseman.
Well, he's got it all in front of him.
Yeah.
You can see it immediately. The catcher's got to try to find it, get rid of the mask. Whew.
Talking to Romero, it seems to me that you go through the process, and we've talked about it as a young player, when you finally start to believe that, 1, you belong here, and 2, that you can play here. I think Stephan is at that point. I think he's had enough time, been up and down a little bit, start to think about things, and he just seems really confident this spring in what he's trying to do.
27 years old and played 72 games in 14, last year 13 games. So this has been his best opportunity, and he has shined the best here this spring. And boy, the situation is such that it is ripe for him.
Yeah,
it really is. Made to order.
And I think the main thing is he had to show them, along with hitting the way that he is, show them that he could play defense at first base.
There's another hard hit, base hit, center field. Stephan Romero. He is building a great case. Make this club the right-handed first base platoon guy.
And we'll take another look at it. Gets another good count for him. He's been very patient this spring. 3-1 count, gets a fastball, drives it back up the middle.
Montero's got 9 hits. You got Romero, that's his 15th hit. And Dae-Ho Lee has 9. And as everybody knows, he can play corner outfield too.
Which is going to be important, I think, because they're going to go with 7 relievers. And so if you have a guy that can do a number of different things on your bench, I think you have to go with those options.
Well, right now, as Cruz looks at a strike, Sardinas fits that build because they've played him in center. They can play him in center. He can play anywhere in the infield. And Romero.
O'Malley.
And O'Malley.
Who's having a really good spring as well.
Another guy swung the bat.
And he's also been stealing a lot of bases.
Yeah,
O'Malley has.
You know, he did a lot of that in the first week or two, the first 2 weeks. He hasn't done as much since. He's 5 out of 6, and O'Malley has 16 hits.
Yeah, he's played well. I think the question for him is, can he play shortstop? And we've seen him at short in a couple of games. We know he can play the outfield. He can cover a lot of ground in the outfield. Second base is no problem. We've seen him at third.
Of the 2 of the infield spots, he's more comfortable at second. But Cano, you know, is going to play about 155 games.
Yes.
Outside, Dinelli, 2-2.
I don't think either starting pitcher are real happy with the home plate umpire.
Carlos Torres, a youngster. Everybody now, it's spring training for the umpires too. Mile high pop. Utley's under it. We're going to hear from Kyle Seager when we come back. A runner stranded in the third. Mariners and Dodgers locked up 2-2. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. And earlier today here at the Sports Complex, Mike Blowers caught up with the Mariners' outstanding third baseman, Kyle Seager.
All right, Kyle, so right towards the end of camp now, you got a lot of new faces, new manager, new teammates. How's camp gone for you so far?
It's been good. It's been a really good group. It's good people in that locker room, which I think will definitely make a big impact on it. The culture that the coaches have set in there has been awesome, and everybody's been having a real good time with it.
And for you personally, you've had a good spring training. Things that looks like they've gone pretty well for you. Your health, how do you feel? Are you ready to go?
Yeah, everything feels good. Just trying to iron out a few little things, but everything feels good, and about ready to go.
You looks like you guys are going to have a little bit more speed in your lineup this year. You guys have run a lot over the course of spring training. I know that you have you and Cano and Cruz in the middle of the lineup somewhere, but then you have Aoki at the top, Martin, Marte, some guys that can run a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot more team speed on this team for sure. It should be a lot more exciting. It should be a pretty fun group to watch on the bases. Those guys, not only get on base, but they can cause some havoc out there. It's been fun kind of watching them run, and it makes sense with our ballpark. So, with Seattle being as big as it is, to let those guys, make the other team a little bit uncomfortable. So it's been really good.
So I looked back at your numbers this morning because I was thinking about the team speed. You had 13 stolen bases in 2012. Are we going to get past that this year?
It's hard to get past that when you get the big stop sign every time you get on base. So, no, I'd like to be able to run, but that's not necessarily always in the cards for me.
So when you look at the American League West right now, where you guys are positioned, a lot of people have you guys basically third right now because Texas, obviously, they won it last year, and Houston up and coming. Where do you feel that you guys measure up, and what are some of the things that you think you're going to have to do well early in the season to make yourself in the hunt?
I like our team. I think we'll be able to compete with anybody. You look at, what our starting pitching has potential to be. That's a pretty special group. So, I think with that group, combined with, a more athletic club, should play better defense, should be able to run the bases better. I think it's going to be a much better team. And, the projections, they liked us a lot last year, and that obviously didn't go too well. So, I think, it'll all even itself out over the course of the season.
And then lastly, every year you've done something to improve in a certain area. Obviously, you won the Gold Glove. The one year you wanted to work at third, and that obviously went really well. Last year you did an excellent job hitting against left-handed pitching. Is there any one thing you thought about over the winter, or maybe something you concentrated while you've been down here in spring training to improve your game?
I think it's, kind of the same type of stuff, just trying to continue to get better over there at third, trying to, to swing the bat better. I like, my average to continue to go up. That's something that, I feel like I should be hitting a little better than I have in that category. So, I'd certainly like for, that to be better.
And 1 week to go. Do you need any more time down here, or are you ready to go?
I think everybody's about ready to go. I think everybody's excited to get going. But spring training's it's really important. It's good to get everything figured out, and I wouldn't mind a few more at bats to feel real good to get going.
Thanks for your time, Kyle.
Thank you.
Very nice, Mike. Good job.
Thanks.
Good to hear from Kyle, get some of his thoughts heading into this season. Like the fact, ready to go.
Well, if you think about it, and it's especially true with Kyle and anybody that's been around here and watches him, he puts in as much work as anybody. He's early in the cages. He gets his ground balls, so he's definitely ready to go. And it's interesting, though, for him. He's always looking for something to improve on, and it's the reason why I wanted to hear what he had to say about it. And I think maybe he's getting to the point to where he wants to take that next step. And you heard him talk about his average. And I think that is something that he's certainly capable of, which leads me to believe, Dave, and you said it, I think it was yesterday, that teams constantly put the shift on with him. I'm not going to be too surprised if we don't see him hit the ball the other way quite a bit more. He has the ability to do that. That's the type of hitter he was when he first came up.
There you go.
That one blown right by him. Into the corner off the bat of Jacob Scavuzzo. Brandon Hicks to third. He's going to score easily. And in with an RBI double. Driving in the go-ahead run. Dodgers have a 3-2 lead. RBI for Scavuzzo, his first.
Got a little cut fastball, trying to get it to the inside corner.
Well, I got a kick out of Kyle about stolen bases and everything.
I couldn't help myself.
I don't blame you. I thought you might go there because we had fun with that a couple of years ago when he was running. Remember, we saw we were in Cleveland and he was working with James Clifford, the exercise specialist, Kansas City, and he was out there early, about 2 o'clock, and he had the harness on, and he was working on his starts.
Yeah, and it was funny because I just happened after the game, I had a chance to see him in the hotel lobby, and I asked him about that. As you know, it gets really warm in Kansas City.
Warm, you're being kind.
Yeah, and I asked him about it, and I liked his answer. He didn't mention a whole lot about stealing bases, but he said anything I can do to score an extra run here and there, that's another win for us. It's worth the work.
Big rip by Casimir misses. No, you're right. That, it's 3-4 extra runs.
Yeah.
Pay off in the end. Let's be a complete player. You got to like that. But he's got some pride. I like the fact he's got some pride. She's, you get the feeling. I'd like to contribute there too, Coach. Come on, let me go. Give me a break. Smitty coming in. Seth makes the catch. Route number 2.
Yeah, I think with Kyle, he probably thinks that he can steal 20 bases.
Oh,
in 2012, he had 13, I believe it was. Yeah.
If he set that as a goal. What's in my pocket? I think I'm gonna put the 20 down. I'm gonna put 20. Put some down on him getting 20 bags.
I think so too. It's difficult though for him. I think especially if he's hitting in front of Cruz, it's tough. It's not going to happen. You have to let Cruz swing the bat or Cano.
His heart's in the right place. 2 outs, a run in, runner on. Top of the order, Chase Utley, 2 for 2. Single to left, single to right. Nice play for Romero. Feeds to Miley. And that'll do it for the Dodgers. They pick up a run on 1 hit. No errors and a man left. 3-2 LA. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. Arizona, duly noted in the Nat King Cole Classic, which we mentioned earlier in the spring, and a nice cover by Asleep at the Wheel in their greatest hits. Texas Country Swing, great band. They've been around for a lot of years, and of course, a lot of you remember the old TV show Route 66 with Martin Milner, and was it George Maharis? That's going back early mid-60s. It was so cool. It seemed like everybody was moving out west. That was one of the main western routes getting west before President Eisenhower got the interstate system up and running in this country. 3-2 Dodger lead. Seth Smith looks at a breaking ball for ball one.
Looking at that restaurant, I bet you can get a good burger and a milkshake in there.
May not be for $1.50 from years ago, but you're probably right. Prices have gone up over the years. Scott Kazmir continues on. He struck out 4 so far. For Scott, his 4th start, 0-1. He started this game with a 9.39 ERA in 7 2/3 innings. Likes his breaking ball today. This one fouled out of play.
We were talking about it last inning. I think he has better command of his changeup and his breaking ball than he has of his fastball.
Check swing. Kazmir throws a strike to get Seth Smith. One away here in the 4th. Join the Mariners in Boeing for Salute to Armed Forces Night on Saturday, April 9th. The A's will be in town. Get there early. Special pregame ceremony. It's going to honor U.S. servicemen and women. Then after the game, 10,000 fans will receive a collectible military coin. Get your tickets at mariners.com. Here's Dae-Ho Lee. Ground ball to Culberson. Shortstop, 2 outs. Kazmir originally drafted by the Mets. The Mets now have just an abundance of pitching. But he was traded back in 04 for Victor Zambrano. Right hand didn't quite work out. That trade wasn't in the line of Brock for Brolio or anything like that, but it's an infamous trade in New York.
At that time, his fastball was 95 to 97, and it was easy for him to hit those marks.
It's back in July of 04. Clevenger keeps the bat alive, fouling one off. Here's the 0-2. Clevenger with us on the Cactus League report of Mariners Radio this week, and fascinating to hear him talk about. He was a shortstop, and they converted him to a catcher. Been with the Cubs and Baltimore organizations. Grew up in Baltimore.
He would have been a big shortstop.
Right? Yeah.
Strong kid.
Shortstop's generally your top 1, 2, or 3 athletes on your ball club.
Yes.
Two outs, nobody on. 2-2 count to Clevenger. He's batting in a 7-hole today. Mariners got the 2 runs in the first inning. Seager an RBI triple and Romero an RBI groundout. Scavuzzo put the Dodgers in front 3-2 in the fourth. A double to left. Here's a 3-2 to Steve. And base hit up the middle.
Good at bat.
Yes, it was. He's had a bunch.
Down 0-2, works the full count, picks up a base hit.
Real controlled swing, too.
And he's able to get it on the breaking ball.
Two-out base runner for the Mariners here in the fourth. Big rip by Taylor, strike one. Week from tonight, we'll be landing in greater Dallas area. Have Sunday off, and it begins for real April 4th against the division champion Texas Rangers. And they will all count then.
They will all count.
And the records will be kept and duly noted.
And I think all these guys are ready for that.
Present party included.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a low strike three call. Taylor gone. Mariners strand a runner. We go to the fifth. Dodgers lead at 3-2. Little business going on in the old team store. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. Arizona. So we welcome you back to Cactus League action here in Peoria, Arizona. Mariners taking on the LA Dodgers. Split squad for the Dodgers. They have the rest of their squad will take on the White Sox down in Glendale and Camelback Ranch, where they share that facility with the Sox, who we saw in yesterday's game. 2, 3, and 4 to face Wade Miley, Trace Thompson, Scott Van Slyke, and A.J. Ellis. So far, Miley has struck out 4 and walked 1, giving up 3 runs on 7 hits. Could not check his swing. 1 and 2.
He's also been able to get the ball on the ground a couple of times. 2 double plays turned behind him. Get himself out of some trouble.
Biting breaking pitch, strikes out Thompson. It's a 5th K.
Had to throw a lot of pitches in the first, but he's starting to settle down. Good breaking ball in the dirt. Nice job by Clevenger, the catcher, to keep it in front of him.
Here's Scott Van Slyke, 2 for 2. Runs scored. And Van Slyke's got a 3 for 3 day. There's Kurt McKnight, author of this book, Voices of the Game. And who's on the cover? Melvin Allen Israel. Mel Allen. Hello, everybody. How about that? Mickey Mantle. Long time voice of the Yankees, and that picture taken in the latter stages of Mel's life when he had been brought back to do Yankee games on Sports Channel on cable. Mel, a Valentine's baby. Born in Alabama, worked in New York so many years.
Great to listen to.
Oh, yeah. Seager, nice hop, makes it happen. Third double play turned by the Mariners. Good inning, quick inning. And we move on. Leonys Martin will lead things off when we come back. Mariners Spring Training presented by Delta Airlines.
Break from Peoria just for a second to tell you that you can join us for Sounders FC All Access only on Root Sports. We take you behind the scenes, giving you unprecedented access to the players and coaches that are shaping the future of soccer in the Emerald City. Visit rootsports.com for more local showtimes. Sounders FC All Access. There's some fans, no doubt about that. Probably soccer, but definitely baseball out there in Peoria. Enjoying all the amenities there at the sports complex. Dave and Mike, so much more to do than just the games. Looks like some pretty long lines out there, guys.
They're doing quite well. A lot of cha-ching being heard here at the complex, and everybody's happy with that.
Great crowd here today.
New pitcher, Adam Liberatore, is a lefty, as you can see, wearing Don Newcomb's old number 36. He'll face 9, 1, and 2 in the Mariner order. Mentioned split squad here. So a lot of familiar names from the Dodgers, who have won the last 3 NL West titles. Oh, Adrian Gonzalez, Howie Kendrick, Justin Turner, Carl Crawford, Jock Peterson, Yasiel Puig. None of those guys are here. Garrett Kennedy takes over behind the plate for A.J. Ellis.
Kennedy, Dave, was just warming up the pitcher. Ellis ran back out.
Oh, Ellis ran back out.
Yeah,
All right, very good.
Out.
They originally announced there was a catching change. He'll probably go in eventually. So A.J. stays in. Leonys Martin's going to lead things off. He struck out. in his first at bat. Kazmir struck out 5, didn't walk anybody, gave up 2 runs on 4 hits. So Martin, a new center fielder for the Mariners. Loves Safeco Field, looking forward to playing there. Confident center fielder, likes to play shallow, and they'll have plenty of room to run out there. Center fielders that you played with, we talked about this once before about some of the great center fielders who could play shallow and go back on fly balls. Anybody? Junior
yeah.
Played shallow.
An over-the-shoulder catch was no problem for him.
Late Paul Blair was very good at that. Oh, 2 to Martin. That's a heck of a talent to be able to confidently go back and catch the ball over your head like that. Jim Edmonds, of course, had a lot of great catches during his time.
I thought Gary Pettis was pretty good at it.
Pettis.
The thing I've found is most center fielders that play shallow, they are not afraid of the wall.
Right. And that's huge. That is a huge factor.
Well, they have to make up the distance, and usually they're running full speed.
Liberatore, a real short armor, 2-2. Liberatore was in 39 games last year, 2-2 record. Broken bat, fly ball center field. Easy play for Thompson. 1 away.
Let's go!
A limited number of tickets remain to join in on the fun and excitement of Mariners opening night, which is coming up on April 8th. Bring in the new season, the 2016 season, by welcoming home Felix, Robbie, and your favorite Mariners. All fans are going to receive a free magnetic schedule courtesy of Safeco Insurance. Visit Mariners.com for more information. Top of the order, and Ketel Marte, first inning double, run scored. A 3rd inning, ground out the 3rd. One to Ketel.
I assume he's just fine, but when you mentioned the double, when he ended up getting into second base, looked as if he was really stretching his hamstring out. If he had a problem that was concerning, I'm sure they would have taken him out of the game, so I assume he's fine.
Liberatore. He's got a 1-1 pitch. Hit pretty well. Deep left center field. Going back. Can't get it is Thompson. It bounces, and that hamstring's not bothering him. They're going to wave him on. Here's the play. The throw to the plate is not in time. And inside the park, home run for Ketel Marte. And the score is tied at 3. What hamstring?
What a great reaction after he slid across the plate. He puts a charge into it. It's 410 feet out the center field fence.
That is some big time speed and high gear right here.
He's not just fast. He really does a nice job running the bases. He cuts the corners well.
And he impressive home run for Marte, his first of the spring, his 3rd run batted in. New ball game at 3-3. Seager with an RBI triple and a strikeout. Runs scored, 1 for 2. Haven't seen one of those in a while.
No.
1 from Liberatore. Daniel Robertson. Tell you what, that's some welcome relief right there. He'll take it. That's a good teammate. That's nice. It was cool checking out as I'm watching the play develop. I look over, I pick up Manny acting third, and he wasn't messing around. Let's go. Come on, bring it. Seager, high drive, deep right field, giving Chase Van Slyke. It is off the fence, and Seager in with a double. He's got a triple and a double today. A good afternoon for Kyle Seager. So today marks his first triple and his first double.
I thought he hit it out of here. We'll take a look at the swing from Kyle. See him pull his hand, stay inside of it.
Off the top of the white there, the Guinness blonde.
Yeah, then it hit Van Slyke on the way down.
One out inside the park. Homer now a double, chance to take the lead here. 3-3 ball game. Stephen Romero, RBI ground out and a base hit to center field. That was in the third. Romero at first base today. Liberatore out of Bellflower, California, 28 years old. Went to high school, Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. Beaver Falls, PA, made famous by Joe Willie Namath. Pro Football Hall of Famer. Adam then went to college at Tennessee Tech. One to count. Liberatore with the Dodgers last year for 39 games. 2-2 record. 4.25 ERA. .29 strikeouts, 9 walks, and he did give up 3 home runs. Big hole right side for Romero. 1-2. Sashi Iwakuma got a start in a minor league game today. 81 pitches in 6 innings. 6 Ks and no walks. Swing. They throw down the third for Seager, and they get him. A.J. Ellis with the throw down the third to Brandon Hicks.
He sees it in the dirt, takes off right away, but it just didn't get far enough away from Ellis. That was close.
Sure was.
Thought maybe he was able to get his foot in there.
Boy, it looked like that.
I thought he was safe.
I'm trying to remember the last time, if I've ever seen a play like that. I don't think I have.
It's been a while. That I can't think of one offhand.
I mean, you could see how it could happen.
Yeah.
And how are we scoring that? You got the runner is thrown out 2-5.
Right.
And he got a strikeout wild pitch.
Or if it's a strikeout fielder's choice, maybe.
I'll go with B, strikeout fielder's choice. I mean, if we're going to play logically, I think that right now, I think you may have hit on something, Coach. Cruz, a strikeout and a pop-up, 0 for 2. Big hole right side for him. Utley shading the bag at second base. Liberatore out in front, 0-2. Oh-2 pitch. That was some swing he took.
91-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle. See if he goes back to his split after that swing on his fastball. You can see gripping the split finger.
Officials scoring Seager. He's out. It's an 0-2-5, and Romero reaching on a wild pitch, they said. Nelly's got a 1-2 count. Struck him out. Ellis holds on. But let's revisit the highlight of the inning. Ketel Marte at full gallop as he hit this drive to deep left center field. Thompson couldn't make the catch. Ketel has it in front of him, and now I'm going home. He's getting a big wave on from Manny. And there he is, an inside the park home run for Ketel Marte. Ties has scored 3 with some help from Daniel Robertson. Mariners Spring Training presented by Delta Airlines.
This date 16 years ago. There he goes. Kingdome gone. Less than 20 seconds it takes to blow up the old home of the Mariners. And Bill Kruger, you probably speak for dozens and dozens of pitchers around the league that are just really sorry to see that thing go.
Well, there were some good memories. I won't say there weren't. Playing in the '91 season when we had our first winning season here for Mariner baseball. But my memories really go back to 1977. I attended a game in the opening season for the Mariners. Our college team from Portland came up to play in the Seattle area, and we went to see the California Angels play. I remember Joe Rudy in left field. I remember walking down to the visitors' bullpen and watching Nolan Ryan warm up. I think that sort of sticks on my mind the most. I wasn't part of all the glory that Mike was, so I'll let him talk about that.
And at 95, yeah, it was special. I know you liked hitting there, didn't you, Mike?
I love the place. One of the best ballparks ever built. but like Bill, too, with the Kingdome, I was fortunate enough to go there and watch a number of games when I was a kid, get to watch the Mariners play, and then eventually get a chance to play there. But it's definitely a hitter's ballpark, no question about that. That's the reason why I liked it so much.
Some of the memories, Mike, I'm guessing your favorite are from that 95 year. Or did you have some other memories that stick out from the Kingdome playing there?
Oh, I think for me, the two things that always come to mind is something that I think that a lot of the fans can relate to. One, of course, Junior sliding across home plate. Was at the time one of the biggest moments as far as being a part of a team in my career. So that's something I'll never forget. And then Edgar hitting the home run to dead center field in the playoffs too against the Yankees. That was something that was pretty awesome because Edgar, a guy, as we all know, doesn't show a lot of emotion, but to see him pumping his fist was pretty cool.
And during down the stretch, and when you guys, the home openers, the sellouts, guys, what was it like noise-wise, crowd-wise? I mean, was it one of the loudest in baseball, Mike?
I think for me, the loudest that I've ever been in a stadium was in the Kingdome when we had the one-game playoff. When we came back for that one game, the fans were going crazy, and it was so much fun to be in that type of atmosphere. I think it held over 50,000 or pretty close to it, and they were on their feet just about the entire game. And you couldn't hear your teammates around you or anything like that. And I remember because of the amount of people in there, it got really warm also. But, yeah, you couldn't hear anything during that game, but what a lot of fun it was.
Was there a big home field advantage for you guys playing in there? Because, you know, it's equal for everybody. You know, it's kind of sterile. It's indoors. It's 70 degrees, no wind. But were you guys able to create a home field advantage?
Well, I think the biggest thing, yes, I would agree with that. And I think but the biggest thing, opposing teams coming in, and Bill knows the pitchers didn't like pitching there for sure. But I think the biggest advantage that we had was Junior, Edgar, Jay, Tino. It was a pretty good lineup to have to work your way through. And in a hitter's ballpark, it was a difficult day for any pitcher.
And if you drew the unit, that was an additional problem.
Yeah, good point. Absolutely. It definitely was. But, for me, I get it. Safeco is such a beautiful ballpark, but a lot of my fondest memories as a player was definitely in the Kingdome, and I enjoyed playing there.
See what Miley does here in a full count. Right to Seager, long throw, and much like the Kingdome, that half inning gone. Looks like Michael Guaipe set to take the mound for the Mariners as Mariners spring training continues, presented by Delta Airlines.
to you by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Steel. To find your local Steel dealer, visit steeldealers.com. Back to Lake Powell. You got Arizona on the right, Utah on the left. And going at a pretty good rate of speed here. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports crew are here at Peoria, Arizona. A 3-3 ball game. New pitcher for the Dodgers is Matt West. Again, this is the Dodgers split squad. The rest of their team down the road about 20 minutes in Glendale. Camelback Ranch tonight at 7 o'clock Arizona start time against the White Sox. Seth Smith to lead it off for the Mariners. Seth today with a hard base hit to right and a ground out. Comebacker to the pitcher. Three runs on 8 hits. No errors for the Dodgers. And 2 runs on 7 hits. Make that 3 runs on 7 hits for the Mariners. Breaking ball misses.
Thought it was a good outing for Miley. Struggled a little bit in the first inning. A couple of broken bat hits really hurt him. But I thought he settled in and pitched well. Stretched out to 6 innings. Looks like we're going to see Tony Zick. Tony getting loose in the pen. Oh, boy.
How about this one? Seth Smith. What a spring for Smitty. His first spring home run, second hit today. Mariners now lead 4-3. So 2 hits for Smith, and I tell you what, when he hits them, they ring, don't they?
Came into the game hitting .548 for the spring, and his batting average is going up. Wow, middle in, belt high, and he hit every bit of it.
Yes, he did. He feasted on it and knew it was gone immediately. Well back, almost into the entertainment area there.
I think it was over the berm.
It's definitely over the berm, and it looked like might have had some people enjoying a couple cold ones ducking. That's 2 home runs today for the Mariners. The inside to Parker by Marte, and now that bomb by Seth Smith gives him 27 on the spring. Man can hit 2 for 3 this afternoon. Breaking ball. Dae-Ho Lee can't catch up to it. Here's a 1-2. Break ball hit to the shortstop, Culberson. Dae-Ho's 3 times grounded out to short. There's 1 away. It's going to bring up Steve Clevenger.
Clevenger 1 for 2 on the day. Had a base hit his last time up.
Pretty good fastball for strike. Seth Smith batting average .558 for the spring. That's a feel-good month.
He's ready to start the season.
Yeah, he is.
You were talking about it earlier. Make him count, right?
Boy, boy. 2-1 to Steve. Clevenger with a base hit in the fourth after being behind the count, got it to 2-2 and singled up the middle. Utley's got this under control. There's 2 away. A run in on the home run by Seth Smith. Mariners lead 4-3. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Ducks tip off in about 10 minutes against Oklahoma. Buddy Hield and the Sooners. The right to go to the Final Four. Parlance of former Oklahoma football coach Barry Switzer. The Ducks the other night against Duke out-athleted them.
I didn't see the game. I did see the score, though.
Chris Taylor struck out swinging and looking today. Just outside. Previous meetings this spring, the Dodgers and Mariners have split a couple of games. Monday, the Dodgers hosted the Mariners. Mariners won 6-3. Taylor to right field. Backs up Van Slyke a few steps. And that'll do it for the Mariners in the 6th. Highlight Seth Smith, his second hit of the day, his first home run of the spring. Tony Zick gets ready to come into a 4-3 Mariner lead.
Top of the 7th inning. We want you again to join the conversation. For up-to-date game information and live interaction, be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Check us out and stay connected with Root Sports. Well, we mentioned earlier today, Brad, Adam, Bill Kruger with you right now, that last inning actually, that today is the 16th anniversary of the Kingdom going kaplooey. With kind of that in mind, I won't ask you, and we'll bring in Mike Blowers in a second, Bill, but start with you. I guess your least desirable, least favorite road venues when you were playing.
You know, I'm old enough to have played in all the old ballparks, but I'd have to say Cleveland. That was a municipal stadium in Cleveland was just a gigantic mausoleum, and nobody came to the ball games. And the facility was really substandard, and the only time they actually paid attention to the field when they wanted to get ready for Cleveland Brown football, so it actually got a little bit better toward the end of the year, but nobody showed up. And Mike, I don't know if you had any experience with the visiting clubhouse and Bill Sheridan, but he was a piece of work.
Dropping names, I like that.
I did, and Bill and I agree. Yeah, I played in that ballpark too, and especially when you're in there and it's cold. And Bill said it was such a massive stadium that they hardly would draw, and it was just not a whole lot that I liked about it. You know, at the old ballpark in Milwaukee too, for whatever reason, I didn't like going in there too much. And then, you know, they both ended up beautiful ballparks, but for the old ones, I'd probably go with Cleveland.
And going into Cleveland, that was a rough seat just on its own. Not a pretty downtown, not a pretty place at the time. In fact, the old saying, Mike, was the best thing about playing for Cleveland was that you didn't have to go there on a road trip.
And you guys, Mike, Bill, you guys both played for the A's during your career. Was that any better from the home clubhouse side, from the visitor side?
Well, I'm old enough, so I played there in the 80s, and with the nice weather before, you know, they put the giant monstrosity on the top of the ballpark there in center. You had the ice plant, and it was, you know, it wasn't that bad. but now I know it's bad. It's not improved, and it's only gone downhill.
Yeah, for me, when I first went in there, like Bill was saying, the views that they used to have some views there. So overall, I enjoyed playing in Oakland. But once they put that building up out there and just kind of closed everything in, and then of course they've had all the issues because it's so old. But back when I was playing, I liked going and playing there in Oakland.
Well, Dave, how about you? You know, go back 70s, 80s, maybe early 90s. Is there a place that you did just not enjoy going to, or your least favorite stadium?
Well, the guys make a very good point about Cleveland. I did football and baseball there. That was not a lot of laughs. Detroit was fun to look at, but the amenities were such that, I mean, they were built for 1910 Americans, and we were a very small group of people back in 1910. So size-wise, and Wrigley Field is a great venue, but they're going into their clubhouses were not great. But I'd have to say Oakland's my least favorite. I love being in the Bay Area. Love when we stay in San Francisco, but you can have that ballpark. There's a high fly ball. It's going to leave the yard. Back wall of the bullpen. Jacob Scavuzzo, his first spring home run. Tie ball game at 4-4.
He's having a good day. His third hit. Single, double, and now the home run.
We got this pitch from Tony.
Yeah, I think it was a hanging breaking ball. It is. You can see it just spinning middle in, belt tie. Wind blowing out to left. Hits the back of the bullpen.
So a new ball game. Here's Matt Jones. Big leg kick. So Tony gives up a home run, tie ball game. That one fouled straight back. That's the second home run given up by Zick this spring. Tony came into today's game a record of 0-0, a 4.05 ERA.
Good fastball, 96 miles an hour. Chase Utley waiting on deck.
2-2. Fastball away, full count. Also slated, possibly get some action. Steve Cishek, Mike Montgomery, Vidal Nuno, Guaipe, and Coleman. Strike 3 called. And there's one out here in the 7th. Tony gives up the home run. It's got service. Always talks about he's got a short memory, which is good for a short-term reliever. Got to have it. Just like a defensive back in the NFL. You give up a bomb, go get the next one.
When he was saying that this morning, I like the fact that he said it with a smile on his face. Right?
Don't put it in play too soon, pal.
Yeah.
4-4 game. Top of the order, Utley. Chase looks at ball 1.
Scott, he understands the value in that.
Utley 2 for 3 with a run scored today. Scott battling whatever flu bug has been going around the clubhouse. He was playing hurt with the media session today, this morning about 8 o'clock. A little bit later today, it was about 8:30. Two and one.
Tony Zick working back-to-back days. Typically see that about this time in spring training, get the relievers in back-to-back days. So this is his 2nd day in a row. I think he has a little better fastball today than he did yesterday.
Utley drives one right field, and Cruz makes a heck of a running catch going towards the track. Nelson Cruz for out number 2.
Take a look at him going back in the last minute. He jumps, times it perfectly, and able to make the catch.
Trace Thompson now 0 for 3. Strikeout, hit into a double play and a strikeout. One in the count. Well, place 95.
His fastball yesterday was right around 94 miles an hour. We've seen him hit 96 a couple of times this afternoon.
Taylor plays it, throws out Thompson. Zick gives up a leadoff homer to Scavuzzo and then goes 1, 2, 3 the rest of the way. Home 7th coming up. Time to stretch here in Peoria. Dodgers, Mariners tied at 4. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. And Mike Blowers, he corrals them on a daily basis. Does look like, remind you a little bit of a razorback or even a porcupine. And I bet that's a very interesting animal. Javelina, there's a team, and I'm drawing a blank. I'm going to have to look it up real quick, but there's a team, the NCAAs, there's a school that's known as the Javelinas. I think it's a team in Texas or it's a JC. Think of it in a second. Leonys Martin leading off. Four ball game. Mariners against split squad of Dodgers. Hit hard through the hole. Base hit for Martin. First hit today for Leonys.
And being aggressive on a fastball. Middle of the plate, it was down, but he hits it hard into right field.
Tyler Smith. Like that, Daniel Robertson. He's running for Martin. And Tyler Smith, he's going to hit for Ketel Marte. Robertson will stay on and play center field. Matt West pouring in a strike. Breaking ball, jumped on it, base hit.
Good at bat, good adjustment. You can see him keep his hands back. Breaking ball was up in the zone.
That's going to bring up Kyle Seager. Nobody out. 2 men aboard.
Left-hander Mike Montgomery getting loose in the pen. There's Mike.
Fastball to Kyle for a strike. Got an RBI triple in the first inning, strikeout in the third, and a double to right center in the fifth.
Culberson, the shortstop, playing right up the middle. Outfield playing straight away.
Moses' feet. And that school I was thinking of, Mike, I knew there was a team named the Javelinas because I'd seen a lot of their football players when I used to do Tampa Bay Bucks football. The Texas A&M Kingsville Javelinas. Couldn't find that file in the old noggin here.
Oh, somebody helped you out?
Yeah, Mr. Google. 2-1. And everybody will move up. Wild pitch. Robertson gave a hard turn around third. You can hear the fans react to that.
I think more than anything was because West wasn't covering home. And we'll take a look at Robertson.
He got the pitcher's attention, didn't he?
He has a lot of energy.
Yes, he does. Another guy. Terrific spring. Talking about Robertson, the good spring he's having, hitting .412, 14 for 34. Full count here to Seager. Nobody out. Go ahead run at third. Matt West, the third Dodger pitcher this afternoon. Scott Kazmir started. Adam Liberatore was second. Three-two pitch. Down the line. That is a fair ball. A lot of people running around these bases. Robertson scores. Smith right behind him. Seager to second. A two-run double. 6-4 Mariners. Great day for Kyle Seager. Back-to-back doubles to go along with a first-inning triple. He's knocked in 3.
Kyle told me this morning he's ready to go, and it looks like it. 3 extra base hits, and this one's hit right on the button. Middle end, down. Left-handers like to get the fastball right there.
Dave Roberts, new Dodger manager, making a pitching change as Matt West gets roughed up here in the 7th inning. Mariners have a 2-run lead. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. Expected more. New low price for 2016. Watch every out-of-market game of all 30 teams live in true HD on over 400 supported devices. Visit Mariners.com for details as you look at Glen Canyon Dam with Lake Powell in the background. And the view downstream from the same vantage point. That is something special. Every time I see these pictures and going,
amazing,
we land here, it is amazing that people walked out here or came out here by wagon train 100 years and change ago. Boy, that is some sight. Jacob Rame takes over. Stephen Romero, the hitter. Good inning here for the Mariners. Martin, leadoff single. Tyler Smith, the base hit to left, and a 2-run double by Seager. Romero's driven in a run with the ground out in the first, a base hit to center in the third, and a strikeout in the 5th. Got a 1-1 count. Couldn't check his swing.
Romero, AAA last year, 292, 17 home runs.
1-2 pitch. Fights it off. Marte with an inside the park home run. Seager's driven in 3 runs. Romero's driven in a run. Home run for Seth Smith. And Romero's gone. First out of the 7th. Bring up Cruz. 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts. Sandwiched around a pop to second base. Strike 1 to Nelly. Made a nice running catch in the 7th inning. Running hard to his left towards the track in right field. Runner goes. Throw down to third. In safely. Kyle Seager with a stolen base. That's his first of the spring. 1 for 1.
Well, we talked to him this morning, and I don't know, Dave, maybe I inspired him.
Didn't hurt, that's for sure. What a day, huh? 3 hits, all extra base hits, driven in 3. He's got a stolen base, and he scored a run. Infield drawn in, ground ball. Keep Seager right at third. High throw, but there's plenty of time.
Kyle's season high in stolen bases is 13. That was in 2012.
So you got to issue a challenge. Hey, pal, want you to at least see him match 13. With the right opportunities without being reckless.
Yeah, maybe he just wanted to show Scott what he could do on the bases.
Making a bid. Efren Navarro batting in place of Seth Smith. Smith with a great day. 2 for 3.
Including his first home run.
Navarro on a quick 0-2 hole. Tomorrow, Easter Sunday, Mariners play at the Cubs. James Paxton will start. Slicing drive, left field. Covered by Scavuzzo. That'll do it, but Kyle Seager highlights the 7th, puts the Mariners in front, a 2-run double. 6-4 Seattle Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines.
certain topics, discussions, which I enjoy. We're going to talk now. We talked about your least favorite ballpark playing, along with Mr. Blowers and Dave Sims. Now, how about the least favorite ballpark on the road? Now, as a broadcaster, when you're watching games, your least favorite, Bill. Now, I should say, caveat, no Oakland, no Tampa Bay. We agree, those are 1 and 2. Oh. You can't pick those guys. I'm starting with Bill first.
That changes everything.
I know, I got to make it tougher. I'll go with Bill first. You guys can think now.
Well, they've updated so many parks since I played. I am just such a dinosaur, man. I've already found the ice, but I would probably say U.S. Cellular. That's what they call it, I guess, these days in Chicago. I mean, it was an upgrade from Old Comiskey, but the way they built the park and really separated the fans from the field, and it just lacks any kind of character, I think.
And it's the first ballpark, at least for us, to move the press box from behind home down to the right field line. So I don't like that park either, for several reasons. But, Mike, how about you? Is there a place on the road that you don't love going to, I should say?
I think the only one, and it's just because of the job that Dave and I have to do, that made it difficult, and I really don't like heights. But when we were in Washington for the Nationals, how high up were we, Dave? Do you remember?
Well, we could reach out and touch the Capitol from our booth.
Yeah. So that would probably be the one for me. Most of them are great, though. I mean, there's so many of them that are just nice places to go watch games. But as far as doing our job, that was just a little bit too high.
Yeah, and I'll add Pittsburgh's a wonderful park with a fabulous view of the Clemente Bridge, downtown Pittsburgh.
Great. Yeah.
And the only thing was, you need a media box, a press box? They forgot to put it up, but it seemed like when you look at it, I wasn't wild about that, but I don't take a lot of points off the board for that. But that comes to mind with Mike reminding me of Washington.
And does the city matter to you guys in terms of job and ballpark, like, dislike? Does the city factor into that at all?
I love Chicago. I love Toronto, Boston. Those are the ones that come up off the top of my head right now. I love it. And when we play Oakland, we're in San Francisco. So those are my top grouping right there. And right now, Leonis Martin joins us right now, the Mariners starting center fielder. Again, Leonis, I want to thank you for that game-winning home run yesterday, pal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Good to have you with us. You wound up getting a base hit here the last time up. Give me your thoughts on how spring has gone for you so far.
Man, really good so far. Working every day with Erga in the batting cage, and try to get better every day, man. That's all.
I don't blame you.
Is there anything in particular that you are working on as far as your hitting?
Man, trying to, every time I go to the home plate, to try to have a good at bat, try to hit the ball in the barrel, try to hit. Yeah, I've been working, I've been working my timing, I want to get my timing to ready for the spin training, day one opening day, and I want to keep that in secret, man. I don't want to show it.
Good idea. I like that.
Yeah, I don't want to show all what I got, man, but I've been practicing at the same time.
That's really good. And being reunited with Nelly Cruz and playing with Cano, what's that mean for you?
Does mean a lot, Our relationship is amazing. He always been a good teacher for me. What I'm saying, he's not that old, but he's gonna look like my dad. And it's a great relation, and I never stop to say thank you to Nelly. than how much important it is for me in my life.
Well, that's beautiful. That's good to hear. Well, we're really glad to have you with us. Excited that you're excited to be here with the Mariners. And, the other thing, too, I wanted to ask you, you don't have to face King Felix now. You watch him from center field.
Oh, man. I don't know how did that happen. Every time we play with Marino, we have to face King Felix, man. You know, it's an honor, it's a pleasure to play with King Felix. And he's a great guy. For me, he's the best pitcher in the league. And I know, man, all what he can do right now is try to help King Felix more than I can.
Well, Leonis, we appreciate you giving us a few minutes here. Thanks so much. Good talking to you, and we'll see you tomorrow morning, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys, man. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Leonis Martin, the new Mariners center fielder, and a lot of joy. You can hear it in his voice. We've been speaking to him a lot since we've been down here. He's really thrilled to be with the Mariner organization and a lot of guys that he already knew. So that's a great setup.
It's a good fit. It's a good fit across the board. I like what he said right there because he's aware that there's a lot of scouts. We see him every day here in the stands, and he doesn't want to show them too much. It's something that Scott Service talks about a lot.
How about this? Daeho Lee drives one over the head of the center fielder, and the big man's going to get into second with a double. He had 3 times grounded out to short. He didn't mess around this time. Got a pitch he could handle and drove it. So Daeho Lee, the leadoff double here in the 8th. And for Daeho, that is his 3rd double.
Big leg kick. Gets a fastball out over the plate. Bell tie. How about the bat flip?
Yeah, I like it. I got no problem with it.
Halfway down the third baseline.
Yeah. So Mike Schmidt was still bent out of shape about Batista the other day. Come on, get off the lawn.
Heads up.
Ooh.
Hit the railing.
Man. And not shocked at Rob Brantley attacking that first pitch.
He has been aggressive all spring.
It's in the zone. He's in full attack mode. Done some nice things in the limited time he's been here since being waived by the White Sox. 15 for 20. And reliever Tony Zick joins us right now. Tony, Dave Sims, and Mike Flowers. How you doing, man?
Good. How about yourself?
Doing well, thank you. It's interesting. Mike and I got a tickle out of hearing the skipper this morning, Scott Service. And one thing he likes about you, you've got a short memory, which you need in your gig, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, especially today.
Yeah, you give up the home run to Scavuzzo, 1-2 pitch. What kind of pitch did you give up? What was it?
It was a slider. Just kind of slipped a little bit. He put a really good swing on it, though.
All in all, how would you? You've done some good things here in camp. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I've been feeling good. Just working on a couple little things, trying to stay locked in. Arms felt great. Just trying to get with Stott, get locked in here at the end, and we'll see what happens.
Back-to-back days for you. How do you feel?
Pretty good. Obviously, the first one's a little bit harder, but it's nice getting it out of the way now. Feels good though. Tomorrow might be a little sore, but we'll be all right.
I noticed that over the last couple of days you were throwing your breaking ball quite a bit. Is it because you wanted to work on it, or are we going to see that quite a bit during the season?
I think I've been a little heavy on it the last couple of days. I was just trying to work a little bit extra on it, make sure I get it a little fine-tuned, and I probably just gotten a little rut of throwing it too much, and that's what hurt me today.
Has Mel or Scott talked to you about what your role in the bullpen is going to be?
No, not one-on-one. Obviously, for myself, I just want to do whatever I can wherever they put me and just try to get the ball to the guys in the back end.
What's this camp like for you this year? I know when you came over from the Cub organization, you're in a position now where you're going to make this team. It's just a matter of how your role is going to be defined. Mentally, I was just wondering, where are you in that regard in this setting right now?
I mean, obviously, a couple years ago, I was just hoping to either stay on the double-A team or move up. I didn't really know what was going to happen there, and it's nice to be able to be put in a spot where, it's not so much pressure, just work and keep getting better and learning from amazing guys here.
I noticed, I think it was yesterday, a little bit today, and I was talking about you, it was probably a week ago when you were in one of the games, and I was saying it's amazing the amount of strikeouts you were able to get last year, and you don't walk anybody, and it seemed that you were getting a little bit frustrated with your command. I think it was in yesterday's game. You expect a lot of being able to pinpoint your fastball, don't you?
Yeah, it's something I've always took pride in, is control and obviously command of the fastball. Guys can hit velocity at this level, so you got to be able to control it. You can't just blow it by people. Doesn't matter how hard you throw. But yeah, I've always took pride in that. So I just get a little frustrated when obviously it's not where I want it, but that's myself and having to grow up there and just be comfortable with it and make the adjustment.
Gotcha. Well, Tony, we appreciate you joining us here. Hey, continued success, and hey, rest up for your next outing here, man. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
You bet. So Daniel Robertson on that throwing error by the shortstop gets to second base. Run scores.
As you look at this team, I think Tony probably is that he is going to be their power arm out of that bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm throwing 96 miles an hour today.
Top of the order, Tyler Smith. – 7-4 Mariner lead. Nice block by catcher Garrett Kennedy. His pitcher, Luis Alberto Bonilla. Minor league addition for today's game. Again, the Dodgers split squad. They also play tonight, 7 o'clock at Glendale at Camelback Ranch against the White Sox, team they share the complex with. Steve Cishek, Mariner closer, getting ready.
Kyle Seager waiting on deck. It's back-to-back days for him, playing the entire game. I think he wanted Easter off. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to get it.
High heat gets Smith. That'll do it for the Mariners. They get a run, leave a man on. There was an error as well. 7-4 lead as we go to the top of the ninth. Head night, followed by Nelson Cruz Boomstick Bobblehead night on the 30th. It's Beard Hat and Boomstick Bobble back to back. Visit Mariners.com for tickets. More beautiful scenery here in Arizona. Mariners with a 7-4 lead against the Dodgers split squad here in Peoria. Good crowd on hand here in this beautiful Sunday or Saturday afternoon. Tomorrow's Easter. Happy Easter to everybody. Attendance 10,644. Another really good crowd. A lot of Dodger fans coming up, and I would imagine a lot of them be doing a double dip going down for the 7 o'clock start against the White Sox. A little bit of time to get a nice little quick meal and then go down and watch some more baseball. Steve Cishek, Mariner closers on board. Mike, you and I were talking about Cishek as a right-hand hitter. This guy's got to be a nightmare when he's on.
Yeah, they can be tough, and especially if he's able to command. He'll try to work his slider off the plate away to him. It's difficult to pick the ball up. He can run his fastball in on your hands like that.
He's ahead of Brandon Hicks, 0-2. Sixth appearance for Steve, 1-0 record. Not giving up an earned run or any runs at all.
And there's the slider just off the outside corner.
Coming into this appearance, 5 innings, 4 strikeouts, and 1 walk. And giving up just 2 hits and none since his second appearance against Texas back on the 6th of March. Ooh, long hold by Brantley. Home plate umpire is Carlos Torres. Full count. 6, 7, and 8 in the Dodger order. Hicks, Culberson, and Scavuzzo. RBIs today for the Mariners. Marte with the inside the park homer in the 5th. Kyle Seagers had a fabulous day with 2 doubles, a triple. He's knocked in 3 runs. Romero's driven in a run with a ground out. Seth Smith hit a bullet of a home run over the bullpen and right. And Cishek was ahead and now loses Hicks.
Probably should have had the strikeout.
I bring up Culberson 0 for 3, strikeout, fly to right, ground out to 3rd. Bounce foul past Chris Woodward, third base coach, former Mariner coach. And former Mariner player. Here's Woody. Mariners have turned 3 double plays so far this afternoon. Right. 0-2. Cishek said he's a pretty good basketball player growing up in Boston, out on Cape Cod. Ball fouled off. So one night, the woman who turned out to be his wife came to the ball game with their girlfriends. And he said, dude, I lit it up. I was hitting everything from Reggie Miller country, and we've been together ever since. 0-2 to Culberson. I'd seen Steve when he was with Miami in our visit there a few years ago. He's at the top of his game at that point. Talked about last year, just lost his delivery point. Started off okay and then Wound up getting traded to the Cardinals, struggled a little bit, finished up reasonably well, but not overall, not the year he was looking for.
Well, he's looked good down here in spring training. Had a little bit of an issue with his bicep. Missed a few days, but outside of that, I think he's looked good.
Left center field. And that's going to roll all the way to the fence. Hicks to third. He's going to score. Digging for 3 and getting there standing up is Charlie Culberson. Said the Dodgers get a 9th inning run and make it 7-5 Mariners. Culberson with his second triple of the spring and his 11th RBI.
And it's on his slider. Wanted to get it off the plate away, more middle away.
So an RBI. Culberson, here's Scavuzzo. RBI double and a home run, a solo shot, and he hits this one hard. Base hit left field. 7-6 ball game.
His 4th hit of the day. And his 3rd RBI. See the big leg kick fastball, middle in. Mel Stottlemyre, pitching coach for the Mariners, making a trip out to the mound.
I think that first at bat was the one, that hard error they gave to Seager. Remember that one?
Yes. Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I'm with you. If we're scoring at home, that's a base hit. I mean, he hit it off the plate. Seager had to reach behind him to get it and just missed him. He has done plenty of damage today. We got a 7-6 ball game here with the tying run aboard. It's Matt Jones. Ooh, that hurt. A walk, RBI triple, RBI single here in the 9th. A lot of Dodger fans here with the Let's Go Dodger cheer here. Tommy Lasorda was here, left about 25 minutes ago. And they had a circle of people 10 deep behind, surrounding him, trying to shake his hand.
We'll see if he can get a double play ball. 16 pitches in the inning.
Line drive, base hit, right field. 3 consecutive hits.
We'll take another look at it. Another breaking ball. First time this spring we've seen him struggle.
Jimmy Allen batting in the spot vacated by Chase Utley. Once again, another example of the lost art of bunting. It's getting worse year by year, Mike. This is our 10th year together.
Seems like it.
Man. Popped it up. Mariners will take it. Brantley making play. 1 down.
Yep, just kind of jabbed at it. You can see the barrel drop. Good play by Brantley.
Called off Cishek. He had to play in front of him. Holds the runners with no problem. Brings up Trace Thompson. So for 4, struck out twice. Ball 1. 6 men to the plate here in the 9th inning. Here's the 1-0. Chase, 1-1. Oh, you can hear Mariners fans groaning on that one.
Brantley was holding it there again, too. Torres has had a tight zone all day.
Yes, he has. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 on. Mariners holding a 7-6 lead. Top 9 with 1 out. His strike count evens at 2-2. Runners at first and second. 1 out, looking for a double play here. Swing and a miss, struck him out. 2 down here in the 9th.
And he gets him with the slider. See the low target.
Paul Henneke will be the hitter. First pitch. Overmatched on that pitch.
Brantley showing some quickness behind the plate. Able to keep it in front of him.
A 1 pitch. Cishek ahead. He can put him away here. He's ahead 0-2. And a Mariner fan standing, making some noise here, hoping for a strikeout to end this contest. 7 runs, 12 hits, an error for the Mariners. 5-12-1 for the Dodgers. Here's the 0-2 from Cishek. Up high, ball 1.
Pretty good fastball. Definitely on the plate.
So a ball and 2 strikes. Cishek ready. It's up high, 2-2. Paul Henneke.
28 pitches in the inning.
Not what he had in mind.
No.
Two and two, 2 outs, 2 on. A 1-run Mariner lead. Cishek delivers. Breaking ball, strike 3 called. Game over. Mariners win 7-6. Pitched himself into and then out of trouble.
It's good to see Miley go 6 innings today. A little bit rough in the first inning, but after that he settled down, really threw the ball well. And a couple of the veterans in the lineup, they look like they're ready for the season to start. Kyle Seager with 3 hits, drove in 3 runs. Seth Smith, a couple of hits, including a home run for him.
So the Mariners go to 13-12-2. The Dodgers now 11-11-3. Back with more from Peoria right after this.